Mark had been running his small auto repair shop for many years. The shop was located on a quiet street, surrounded by old buildings and a few other small businesses. Every morning, he arrived early, sweeping the floor and checking the tools for the day. Mark was a single dad, raising his son Alex, who often helped him after school. Life was simple, and he enjoyed fixing cars, knowing that every repair he made helped someone continue their journey. One rainy evening, the sky was gray, and the rain fell steadily over the city streets. Mark was finishing up for the day, wiping his hands on a rag as he prepared to close the shop. Suddenly, he heard soft crying outside. He turned toward the street and saw a young girl sitting on the curb. Her hair was wet, and her school bag was soaked. She hugged her knees tightly, looking helpless and afraid. Mark grabbed his raincoat and ran outside. "Are you okay?" he asked gently. The girl looked up, tears rolling down her cheeks. "I have a flat tire," she said in a small voice. She introduced herself as Lily. Her bike had a puncture, and she could not ride home in the heavy rain. Mark knelt beside her and smiled reassuringly. "Don't worry. I can fix it for you," he said. He carried his toolbox to the curb and started examining the tire. As he worked, Lily shivered in the cold rain. Mark offered her his jacket, and she accepted it shyly. He tightened the bolts, replaced the tube, and checked the brakes carefully. While working, he spoke softly to her. "It's okay. Accidents happen, and you are safe now." Lily nodded, feeling comforted by his calm voice and patient manner. Mark asked her how she ended up in this situation. Lily explained that she had been riding home from school when she hit a sharp stone. The tire went flat immediately, and she fell, scraping her knee. She tried to ride but could not, and the rain made her scared. She had no one around to help her. Mark listened carefully and offered encouragement. "You're brave for trying to fix it yourself. Let's get you home safely now," he said. By this time, the flat tire was repaired, and Mark inspected it once more to ensure everything was safe. Lily looked at her bike, her eyes wide with relief. "Thank you so much," she said, smiling through her tears. Mark nodded, glad to see her happy again. He reminded her to ride carefully and stay close to home. She thanked him again and started pedaling slowly down the wet street, waving goodbye. After Lily left, Mark returned to his shop and put away the tools. He felt a quiet satisfaction in his heart. Helping others, even in small ways, had always been important to him. He thought about Lily and hoped she would be safe. Life had taught him that kindness often created small ripples, and he believed that one day those ripples could grow into something meaningful. That night, Mark prepared dinner for Alex and himself. They talked about the day and shared stories of work and school. Mark told Alex about helping Lily, and Alex listened with admiration. He was proud of his father's kindness and patience. They laughed over small memories and enjoyed the quiet evening together. The rain continued outside, but inside the small home, there was warmth and comfort. The next morning, Mark opened his shop early, expecting a normal day of car repairs. As he cleaned the floors and checked the inventory, he thought about the previous evening. Helping Lily had reminded him why he loved his work. It was not just about fixing cars, it was about making a difference in people's lives. Every repair, every small act of service, had meaning. Suddenly, a sleek black car stopped outside the shop. Mark looked up and noticed a woman stepping out. She was dressed elegantly and looked serious yet kind. Mark approached her, wiping his hands. "Can I help you?" he asked politely. The woman smiled slightly. "I am Lily's mother," she said. "I heard that you helped her yesterday. I wanted to thank you personally." Mark felt a little nervous but invited her inside the shop. The woman introduced herself as Mrs. Collins. She explained that she was very busy and had many responsibilities, but she wanted to express her gratitude for his kindness. She praised Mark for being patient and caring with her daughter. Mark nodded humbly, saying that he only did what he felt was right. Mrs. Collins asked Mark about his work and life. He explained that he ran the shop, raised his son alone, and tried to help anyone in need whenever he could. He spoke honestly about the challenges he faced but also about the joy he found in helping people. Mrs. Collins listened carefully, clearly impressed by his dedication and integrity. She told him that she often wished she could rely on someone trustworthy for her family. Mark nodded, understanding her meaning. She offered to provide some assistance, but Mark declined politely. He said that helping Lily had been its own reward. Mrs. Collins smiled and insisted that she would like to keep in touch. She wanted to show that small acts of kindness are noticed and appreciated. Mark watched as Mrs. Collins left the shop, feeling both surprised and honored. He reflected on how quickly life could bring unexpected connections. A simple act of helping a young girl had now created a bond with her family. Mark realized that kindness could reach far beyond what he could see at the moment. Throughout the day, Mark repaired cars with renewed energy. He spoke to customers with extra patience and care. His son Alex helped as usual, passing him tools and learning about each vehicle. Mark explained that every car, like every person, deserved attention and respect. He shared stories of his experiences and encouraged Alex to notice the little things that make a difference. By evening, the shop was clean, and all the repairs were completed. Mark sat down for a brief rest, thinking about the chain of events that had begun with a rainy day and a flat tire. He realized that life often presented opportunities to help others, and those opportunities should never be ignored. He felt content knowing that he had made a positive impact on someone's life. Before closing the shop, Mark checked his phone. There was a message from Mrs. Collins, thanking him again for helping Lily. She mentioned that his patience and kindness were rare qualities and that they made a real difference in the world. Mark smiled, touched by her words. He replied with a simple message, saying that it was his pleasure to help. As night fell, Mark and Alex shared a quiet dinner together. They discussed school, work, and the importance of helping others. Alex listened intently, inspired by his father's example. Mark reminded him that even small actions can create big changes in the lives of others. They went to bed that night with hearts full of hope and gratitude, ready to face another day. Mark did not know what the future would bring, but he understood that every act of kindness mattered. The memory of Lily and her smile stayed with him, reminding him that compassion and care could change lives in ways one could never predict. The night was calm, and the rain had stopped, leaving behind a fresh, clean world. The next morning, Mark opened his shop to sunlight filtering through the windows. Birds chirped outside, and the city seemed alive with energy. He felt ready to begin another day, prepared to face challenges and help anyone in need. He knew that his work was not just about cars. It was about people, about building trust, and about making life a little better for everyone he met. Mark arranged his tools, checked the schedule for the day, and thought about the possibility of more unexpected connections. He hoped that he could continue to make a difference, one person, one car, and one act of kindness at a time. The shop was quiet and peaceful, yet full of potential for the day ahead. The next morning, Mark arrived at his shop ready for another busy day. He had barely unlocked the doors when he noticed the same sleek black car parked outside. A sense of curiosity ran through him as he walked toward it. The woman from yesterday stepped out, her posture confident yet calm. It was Mrs. Collins, Lily's mother, and she had come back for a reason Mark could not yet guess. "Good morning, Mark," she said with a polite smile. "I wanted to see you again and personally thank you for helping Lily yesterday." Her voice was soft but carried a sense of authority. Mark nodded, feeling slightly nervous but pleased that she had returned. He welcomed her into the shop and offered her a seat while he wiped his hands on a cloth. Mrs. Collins looked around the shop with interest. The walls were lined with tools, shelves stacked with spare parts, and cars in various stages of repair. She could see the care and organization in every corner. "You have a very neat and efficient shop," she observed. Mark smiled, explaining that he liked to keep everything in order so work could be done properly and safely. She began asking questions about his life, curious about the man who had shown so much care to her daughter. Mark spoke honestly about running the shop and raising his son Alex alone. He described the challenges of being a single parent, balancing work and family responsibilities, and the satisfaction that came from helping people. Mrs. Collins listened attentively, clearly impressed by his dedication. Mark could sense that Mrs. Collins was not just here to thank him for helping Lily. She seemed genuinely interested in understanding him and his values. She asked about his approach to work, how he treated customers, and how he taught Alex about responsibility. Mark explained that he believed in honesty, patience, and taking pride in every task, no matter how small it seemed. Mrs. Collins nodded, appreciating his answers. She shared that her own life was very busy and often distant from personal interactions. She rarely had the time to notice the small things, but she valued them deeply when she did. Helping Lily had reminded her of the importance of human connection, and Mark's genuine care had left a strong impression. She continued, "I wanted to let you know that acts of kindness are noticed, even when they seem small. Your help meant a great deal to Lily, and it has made a difference in our family." Mark felt a warm sense of pride, knowing that his actions had positively impacted someone else. He explained that he only did what felt right, never expecting recognition or reward. Mrs. Collins smiled, showing respect and sincerity. She mentioned that she often wished she could rely on trustworthy people for her family, and that Mark's honesty and care were qualities she admired. "It is rare to meet someone who treats others with such genuine respect," she said. Mark listened humbly, grateful for her words but feeling that he had only done what anyone should have done. During their conversation, Mark shared some stories from the shop, how he learned to fix cars, and the lessons he had passed on to Alex. He explained that helping people, teaching patience, and building trust were just as important as repairing vehicles. Mrs. Collins was intrigued, asking questions about how he managed to balance everything while remaining positive. Mark told her that every day presented challenges, but he approached them with focus and care. He shared that teaching Alex about responsibility and empathy was his most important job. Mrs. Collins nodded thoughtfully, clearly reflecting on the values he demonstrated in both work and life. She expressed admiration for his dedication as a father and a professional. The conversation moved toward Lily. Mrs. Collins explained how worried she had been when she heard about the flat tire and rain. She admitted that she had been too busy to be there for her daughter, and meeting Mark had restored her faith in the kindness of strangers. Mark reassured her that Lily was brave and resilient, and that it was a pleasure to help her. Mrs. Collins then asked if Mark could assist her family with some minor car maintenance. She explained that she trusted him because of the care he showed with Lily's bike. Mark agreed politely, saying that he would be happy to help. He did not expect anything in return, but Mrs. Collins insisted, showing her gratitude by offering opportunities that could help his small shop grow. Mark worked over the next few days on the cars that Mrs. Collins brought in. Each vehicle received careful attention, and he treated them as he would any other customer's car. He explained to his assistants, and to Alex, that every task deserved respect, no matter the owner's wealth or status. It was the quality of work and care that mattered most. Meanwhile, Lily began visiting the shop more often, sometimes with her mother. She was full of energy and curiosity, always asking questions about the cars and how they worked. Mark enjoyed showing her small repairs, explaining them in simple ways. Lily listened eagerly, and Mark could see her confidence growing with every lesson she learned. Mrs. Collins noticed the bond forming between Mark and Lily. She appreciated how he treated her daughter as capable and intelligent, encouraging her rather than simply doing everything for her. This approach reminded her of the values she wanted Lily to carry in life: confidence, patience, and the ability to handle challenges with grace. Mark also spent more time with Alex, teaching him the same lessons. Alex learned the importance of honesty, hard work, and empathy. He enjoyed helping customers, assisting with repairs, and seeing the difference his father's care made in people's lives. Together, Mark and Alex created a small but meaningful community of trust and respect in the neighborhood. One afternoon, Mrs. Collins came to the shop with a proposal. She wanted to organize a small workshop for Lily and other children in the neighborhood, teaching basic car care and safety. Mark loved the idea and agreed to help. He explained that understanding small tasks and being careful could build confidence and independence, lessons he believed were essential for children. Over the next few weeks, the shop became a place of learning and activity. Children arrived after school, curious and eager to learn. Mark and Alex guided them through small tasks, explaining every step carefully. Mrs. Collins volunteered to support the workshop, providing snacks, supplies, and encouragement. Lily thrived in this environment, becoming confident and engaged. Mark noticed that his life was changing in subtle but important ways. His shop was no longer just a place to repair cars, it had become a center for learning, kindness, and community. The small act of helping Lily had created opportunities that he could never have imagined. People in the neighborhood began respecting him not just for his skill but also for his integrity and compassion. As the days went by, Mark and Mrs. Collins developed mutual respect and understanding. They talked about values, education, and life lessons. Mark admired her dedication to her family, and she admired his devotion and kindness. Their connection was built on trust and genuine appreciation rather than wealth or status. Mark continued to repair cars, help the children, and guide Alex, always maintaining his principles. Every interaction reminded him that small acts of care could create meaningful ripples in the lives of others. The shop was busy, but Mark never rushed. He focused on quality, learning, and the well-being of everyone who entered his doors. Lily's mother often observed quietly, appreciating the way Mark balanced kindness with responsibility. She realized that he was more than a mechanic, he was a mentor, a role model, and a person of character. Through his actions, he taught valuable lessons about patience, empathy, and integrity. One evening, as Mark closed the shop, he reflected on how life could surprise him. A flat tire in the rain had led to friendships, opportunities, and community growth. He smiled, thinking about Lily, Alex, and Mrs. Collins. Small acts of kindness, patience, and care had transformed ordinary days into extraordinary experiences. Mark understood that life's rewards were often invisible but deeply meaningful. The gratitude of those he helped, the trust he earned, and the lessons he shared were more valuable than money or recognition. He looked forward to each day, ready to face challenges with compassion, patience, and dedication. The workshop continued, with Lily and other children learning important skills. Mark guided them through simple repairs, safety checks, and problem-solving exercises. Alex assisted, gaining confidence and pride in his father's work. Mrs. Collins observed with admiration, realizing how meaningful Mark's guidance had become in shaping young lives. Mark felt fulfilled. His life had a rhythm of work, care, and learning that created a sense of purpose. Helping Lily had sparked a journey that enriched everyone around him. The shop had grown beyond its walls, becoming a place where skills, kindness, and confidence flourished together. Mark had grown used to the busy rhythm of the shop, where cars, children, and learning blended into one lively environment. Every morning, he opened the doors with a sense of purpose. Today was no different, except he felt an extra spark of anticipation. Lily and a few other children had planned to come for their workshop, and he wanted to make sure everything was ready. He checked the tools, prepared extra tires and small repair kits, and set up a work area where the children could safely practice. Alex helped by organizing the supplies and making sure each station was ready. Together, they worked efficiently, talking quietly about the lessons they wanted to teach. Mark emphasized patience and careful attention to detail as the most important qualities in every task. Soon, Lily arrived, her face bright with excitement. She was followed by 2 more children from the neighborhood, curious to learn about cars and safety. Mark greeted each of them warmly and introduced them to Alex. The children listened carefully as Mark explained the basics of bike maintenance, tire safety, and simple repairs. Lily was eager to try each task herself, asking questions and paying close attention. As the workshop continued, Mrs. Collins appeared at the shop. She had come to observe and offer help in small ways, such as organizing the supplies and encouraging the children. Mark smiled, appreciating her involvement. Her presence gave the children confidence and showed them that adults could be kind, helpful, and patient at the same time. Mark guided the children step by step, letting them practice under supervision. He encouraged them to make mistakes and learn from them, stressing that errors were part of growing and gaining skill. Lily, in particular, was attentive and careful. Mark could see her confidence building with every small success, and he felt proud of her progress. Meanwhile, Alex assisted the younger children, explaining simple steps in his own gentle way. He enjoyed being a helper and role model, understanding that patience and encouragement could make a big difference. Mark watched him with pride, realizing that teaching and guiding others had become a shared responsibility in their family. As the morning passed, Mrs. Collins complimented Mark on his dedication. "It is wonderful how you teach them to care, to respect the work, and to be confident," she said. Mark thanked her, humbly stating that he only tried to do what he believed was right. Her admiration motivated him to continue investing his time and energy in the children and the shop. Later, a customer arrived with a car that needed urgent repair. Mark calmly assessed the situation while the children watched from a safe distance. He explained each step of the process to them, showing how careful observation and methodical work could solve problems. The children were fascinated, asking questions and taking notes. Mark encouraged curiosity and reinforced that learning was a lifelong journey. After finishing the urgent repair, Mark returned to the workshop area. Lily had successfully completed her first full bike maintenance task on her own. She had checked the brakes, inflated the tires, and cleaned the chain. Mark praised her efforts, telling her that responsibility and care were qualities she had developed quickly. Lily's smile lit up the shop, and Mrs. Collins felt a deep sense of gratitude for Mark's influence. The afternoon passed with a mixture of repairs, lessons, and small stories shared between Mark, Alex, and the children. Mark taught them simple safety measures, how to handle tools, and the importance of asking for help when unsure. Each child left with a sense of accomplishment, and Lily's confidence continued to grow with every new task she mastered. Mark also took a moment to talk to Mrs. Collins privately. He shared ideas about teaching children practical skills, safety awareness, and responsibility. Mrs. Collins was impressed and suggested that they could collaborate on a small program to help more children in the neighborhood. Mark welcomed the idea, excited about the opportunity to expand their positive impact. As the day came to a close, Mark cleaned the shop and organized the tools. Alex helped him, learning how to maintain a neat workspace. Lily waved goodbye with her mother, thanking Mark for the lessons. Mark felt a deep sense of fulfillment, realizing that helping Lily had led to meaningful changes for many children, not just one. The next week, more families brought their children to the shop. Mark organized small groups, teaching them practical skills while ensuring safety. Alex continued assisting, building leadership and responsibility. Mrs. Collins supported the initiative, helping with logistics and encouragement. Together, they created a friendly, productive environment for learning and growth. Mark found that teaching had become a source of joy and inspiration. Every child learned at their own pace, and he encouraged them to practice patience and perseverance. He emphasized that every small success was valuable and that building confidence was more important than completing a task perfectly. One afternoon, Mrs. Collins shared with Mark that she had noticed significant improvement in Lily's confidence and problem-solving skills. She expressed gratitude for Mark's dedication and the positive influence he had on her daughter. Mark smiled, saying that seeing children grow was the most rewarding part of his work. During these weeks, Mark also maintained his regular repair work. Cars continued to arrive for maintenance, repairs, and urgent fixes. He balanced the dual responsibilities of running the shop and guiding the children carefully. Alex helped manage both tasks, gaining a sense of pride and accomplishment in their shared efforts. Mark observed how small acts of kindness and care could ripple through a community. The shop was no longer just a place for repairs, it had become a center for learning, mentorship, and inspiration. He felt grateful for the chance to make a difference and recognized that each child, including Lily, was growing in confidence and independence. Mrs. Collins continued to be involved, often observing or helping when needed. She appreciated the way Mark treated her daughter and the other children, showing respect, encouragement, and care. She felt reassured that Lily was in capable hands and was learning valuable life skills that went beyond bike repairs. Over time, the neighborhood began to notice the positive changes. Children spoke about the lessons they learned, parents expressed gratitude, and the shop earned a reputation not just for its quality repairs but also for its supportive learning environment. Mark and Alex felt proud of the community they were helping to build. One day, a young boy arrived, nervous and unsure of his skills. Mark welcomed him warmly and guided him gently through a repair task. The boy learned to check the brakes, inflate the tires, and tighten the bolts correctly. By the end of the session, he was smiling and confident. Mark realized that patience and guidance could transform hesitation into achievement. Lily continued to grow, excelling in every lesson. She learned to manage small repairs on her own and even helped her friends with guidance. Mark praised her for her determination and care. Alex also thrived as he took more responsibility in teaching and mentoring the younger children, understanding the importance of leading by example. Mrs. Collins often observed quietly, appreciating the positive influence Mark had on her daughter and the neighborhood. She realized that character, integrity, and dedication were rare qualities and felt grateful that her family had encountered someone like Mark. His actions inspired trust, respect, and admiration in everyone around him. One afternoon, Mark reflected on the past weeks. What had started as a simple act of helping Lily in the rain had grown into something much larger. The workshop had become a place for learning, encouragement, and growth. He understood that every small act of care could create meaningful changes in people's lives. The shop continued to thrive, not just as a business but as a center of positive influence. Children learned, parents trusted, and the community respected the lessons being taught. Mark balanced all of this while maintaining high-quality repair work and guiding Alex in life lessons. Every day brought new challenges and opportunities to make a difference. Mark realized that helping others, teaching patience, and encouraging growth were as important as fixing cars. His dedication to integrity, care, and community had created a ripple effect far beyond what he could see. The shop had transformed into a place where skills, confidence, and kindness were nurtured together. As evening approached, Mark closed the shop and looked at the children waving goodbye. Lily waved the hardest, her smile full of gratitude and confidence. Mark smiled back, proud of the difference he had made. He knew that his efforts were shaping not just skills but character, and that was a reward greater than any payment or recognition. The sun shone brightly over the small neighborhood, marking another busy day at Mark's shop. Cars lined the street, children laughed as they rode their bikes, and the shop was alive with activity. Mark had developed a routine that balanced repairs, teaching, and mentoring. He enjoyed seeing the children learn while maintaining the high standards he applied to every car he fixed. Lily arrived early that morning, her backpack filled with small tools and notebooks. She waved at Mark and Alex with excitement. Today, they would practice some new bike repairs, including checking chains and adjusting brakes. Mark guided her patiently, explaining each step clearly and encouraging her to ask questions. Lily listened carefully, her confidence evident in every movement. Alex helped the younger children set up their workstations. He reminded them to focus on safety and to be patient with their mistakes. Mark watched his son grow into a responsible and attentive helper. It warmed his heart to see Alex learning the importance of mentorship, understanding that guidance and encouragement could shape lives beyond the classroom or workshop. During the morning, a few parents stopped by to watch the workshop. They were impressed by Mark's ability to teach and guide the children. Mrs. Collins also arrived, smiling as she observed the children learning. She admired Mark's patience, dedication, and the respect he showed for every student. She realized that Mark was not only a mechanic but also a teacher and role model for the entire neighborhood. Mark decided to introduce a challenge for the children to test their skills. Each child had to check a bike, fix minor issues, and demonstrate safe riding practices. Lily approached the task with focus and determination. She carefully checked the brakes, adjusted the chain, and tested the tires. Mark and Alex watched proudly as she completed the task with precision and confidence. The other children followed, learning from both Mark and Lily. Mark emphasized that mistakes were part of learning and encouraged them to support each other. By the end of the challenge, every child had gained new skills and confidence. They left the shop smiling, proud of their accomplishments and eager to return for more lessons. Later in the afternoon, Mrs. Collins spoke privately with Mark. She thanked him for everything he had done for Lily and the neighborhood children. "Your dedication has created opportunities that I could not have imagined," she said. Mark listened humbly, reminding her that he only did what he felt was right. Mrs. Collins smiled, clearly impressed by his humility and integrity. Mark reflected on the journey that had started months ago with a flat tire in the rain. He realized how one small act of kindness could ripple outward, affecting not only Lily but an entire community. The shop had become more than a place to repair vehicles. It was a place to learn, grow, and inspire. Alex joined his father in cleaning the shop after the workshop. They organized tools, wiped down workstations, and prepared for the next day. Mark explained to Alex that caring for one's environment and tools was as important as repairing cars. Alex nodded, understanding that responsibility and organization were valuable lessons for life. As the evening approached, Mark closed the shop and took a moment to look outside. Lily rode past with her mother, waving happily. Mark waved back, feeling a deep sense of satisfaction. He knew that his work had not only helped Lily but had also given her confidence, skills, and a sense of independence. Mrs. Collins arrived once more before leaving for the day. She expressed her gratitude again and mentioned that she wanted to support Mark's initiatives for the children in any way she could. Mark thanked her but reminded her that the true reward was seeing the children grow and learn. Her support, however, would help expand the program and reach more kids. Over the following weeks, the shop continued to thrive. New children joined the workshops, eager to learn practical skills. Mark guided them through repairs and safety measures, emphasizing patience, attention, and responsibility. Alex helped mentor the younger students, gaining confidence in teaching and leadership. The community began to notice the positive changes. Parents expressed gratitude, children shared their experiences, and the shop earned a reputation for its kindness and educational impact. Mark's work had created a network of trust and respect, showing how a small act of care could have far-reaching effects. One morning, a new challenge arrived. A client brought a vintage car in need of careful restoration. Mark assessed the vehicle with precision, explaining each step to Alex and the children watching. He demonstrated problem-solving skills, patience, and attention to detail, showing that hard work and focus could overcome even difficult challenges. Lily assisted as well, eager to learn from the experience. She followed instructions carefully, helping to clean, adjust, and inspect the car. Mark praised her efforts, reminding her that persistence and care were more important than speed or perfection. Lily beamed with pride, motivated to continue learning and improving her skills. Throughout the day, Mark emphasized lessons about life as much as lessons about cars. He spoke about integrity, empathy, and helping others. He encouraged the children to practice kindness and responsibility in all areas of life. Alex absorbed these lessons, understanding that values and actions were more important than status or wealth. Mrs. Collins continued to support the initiative by providing resources, encouragement, and sometimes small rewards for the children's achievements. She admired the way Mark balanced work, teaching, and family responsibilities. She also realized that the values he imparted were shaping the next generation of thoughtful and capable individuals. Mark continued repairing cars while mentoring children, maintaining his high standards of quality and care. Each repair was approached with focus, each lesson with patience. The shop became a hub of learning and inspiration, where children gained practical skills and confidence, and the community witnessed the value of dedication and kindness. One evening, Mark reflected on the journey that had begun with a rainy day and a flat tire. He realized that life often presented opportunities to help others, and that small acts of care could create meaningful changes. The workshop, the children, and the community were proof of this truth. Alex joined him, holding a wrench and a small notebook. He had been learning both practical skills and life lessons. Mark smiled, realizing that his son was growing into a thoughtful, capable, and compassionate young man. Together, they had created more than a repair shop. They had built a place where skills, values, and confidence flourished. The days turned into weeks, and the weeks into months. The shop remained busy, filled with cars, children, and learning activities. Lily continued to visit, her confidence and skills growing steadily. Mrs. Collins often observed, satisfied that her daughter was gaining valuable experiences and lessons that would serve her for life. Mark continued guiding both Alex and the neighborhood children, teaching them practical skills, patience, and integrity. He emphasized that learning and kindness were continuous journeys. The shop was a living example of how small acts of care could impact lives far beyond immediate expectations. One sunny afternoon, Mark watched as Lily successfully fixed a bike tire on her own, checking brakes and chains carefully. He smiled, proud of her accomplishments and growth. Alex cheered for her, reinforcing the sense of achievement and teamwork that had developed over time. Mrs. Collins approached Mark, expressing her admiration once again. She mentioned that she wanted to support ongoing workshops for more children in the community. Mark thanked her, excited by the opportunity to expand the program and help more kids learn valuable skills. The community continued to recognize the positive influence of Mark's work. Families trusted him, children looked up to him, and parents valued the lessons he imparted. His dedication, patience, and integrity had created a lasting impact. Mark felt a quiet sense of fulfillment, knowing that his small act of helping Lily had grown into something much larger. As evening fell, Mark closed the shop and looked outside at the children leaving with their parents. He waved to Lily and her mother, who waved back with warm smiles. Mark felt content, knowing that his guidance, care, and teaching had made a real difference. Mark returned home with Alex, reflecting on the journey from a rainy day to the present. He realized that kindness, patience, and responsibility could create opportunities and connections that changed lives. He understood that every small act of care had value and could ripple outward, touching many people in unexpected ways. That night, Mark and Alex sat together, talking about the day and the lessons they had shared. Alex expressed pride in what they had achieved and the positive impact they had on the children. Mark smiled, knowing that he had passed on values that would guide his son throughout life. Mark went to bed that night with a deep sense of fulfillment. He knew that his work, teaching, and kindness had created meaningful change. He felt grateful for the opportunity to make a difference, not just in the lives of Lily and Alex, but in the entire neighborhood. His shop had become a place of learning, growth, and inspiration. In the following weeks, Mark continued his work, balancing car repairs with teaching and mentorship. The children learned practical skills, confidence, and responsibility, while the community witnessed the power of patience, care, and integrity. Mark understood that his efforts were shaping not just individuals, but a culture of trust and respect. Finally, Mark realized that the journey that began with helping a crying teen in the rain had transformed his life, his shop, and the neighborhood. The ripple effect of kindness, patience, and guidance had created opportunities for growth, learning, and inspiration. Mark felt proud, grateful, and fulfilled, knowing that he had made a lasting impact on the lives of many.